How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the New York Islanders franchise mode here at NHL 25. Moving into episode number 24 for the second half of year number 7 here in the 2030-31 season. In the last one, we left off at the halfway point, finishing our last 10 games with a 3-5-2 record. Not the greatest end to the episode, but we are 26-11-4, which puts us on a 52-22-8 pace. And by the way, if you look on the right side of your screen, our goals for per game, 4.05, second best in the league. Goals against, 6th best in the league. Power play, okay, 15th, but it's really been the penalty kill at 77.6%, which has not been pulling its weight, unfortunately. The last episode was entitled On a Short Leash, and we're talking mostly about Ethan Belchet's and Ilya Sorokin right now. We'll put them on the back burner for a moment just to recap you in the first half of the year. Our captain, Bo Top 50 Horvat, at the age of 35, is on pace to hit just under 100 points through the first half, 49 in 41. Porter Martone exploded in the first half of the season. His career high of 68, the last 4 seasons, 31, 61, 61, 68. Now this year on pace for 88 points. So Porter Martone now at the age of 24. He was here before, but now we can really say that he has arrived. Matty Barzal at the age of 33 now, yes, also on pace for 88. Brock Besser, who signed that big extension in the offseason. We were playing with fire. We gave him a 2-year, $13 million per season contract, and so far so good as he's just above point per game on pace for 84 at the moment. Cole Eiserman, also really good potential career numbers here. Last season putting up 71. He's hovering around his point per game pace, and we'd love to see him break 40 plus goals in back-to-back seasons. Landon Zupone, his 3rd year, he scored, 40, was it 48 points? Yes, 48 points last year. He's on pace for 64 right now, the young 21-year-old defenseman. Patrick Laine, we told him 1 more year, reduced 3rd line role, but the finisher on the first unit power play. I know it's a bit beneath him, but he's still succeeding, on pace for 62 points. Dylan Cousins in his first year as an Islander on pace for 60 after the last few years in Buffalo have been horrible. 41, 24, 45. This year on pace for 60. Love that. Oliver Kapanen. Now, we had played a little bit with the top 6, middle 6. We scrolled on to Ethan Belchet's here for a moment. We put Oliver Kapanen back on the 3rd line for like a 15-game run to try and give Belchet's a chance to get jump-started in the top 6. And while that helped out Belchet's a little bit, it seemed to hurt Oliver Kapanen, who last year put up 66 points in a 3rd line role. Now this year, in a 2nd/3rd line role, is on pace for 52 points. So let's try and get him back to where he should be. His ice time is higher, minute 12 more per game on average than last season, but the power play points on pace for 6 when last year he had 15. We'll try to do what we can to get Oliver Kapanen back to where he should be here in the second half. David JIRI-CHEQUE on pace for 50, getting better every season as an Islander. 23, 32, 42 on pace for 50 now, every year getting better, in a contract year no less, so he's definitely ready for his payday. Fajma on pace for 40 points and a 4th line role, playing 8.5 minutes per night. That's crazy. Now, Ethan Belchet's has been the biggest question. 9 goals and 19 points for the reigning Calder Trophy winner. He scored 35 points. That was a plus 24 last year, playing 11.55 of ice time. This year, playing 15.11 of ice time on average. He is on pace for 38 points. So on pace to score 3 more points, playing more than 4 minutes more per night on average. That, on top of the fact that he has not simulated very well in other franchise modes that I've seen, has not made me feel very confident in him being a future top 6 piece once the Horvats, Barzals, and Bessers of the world age themselves out. So we're keeping a close tab on that. Vince Dunn, 17 points at the age of 34. Ralph Preissing, 11 and 41. Hornqvist in his rookie season, 10 points in 37 games for the Swedish defenseman. Arcuri, 9 points as 4th line center. Rasmus Sandin, 7 points plus 11. For some reason, he only likes producing in the postseason, but whatever. Bolzuk, 6 points plus 2 in 35. Pollock, 2 assists in 10 games played. And for the goaltending, Trey Emperor Augustine has been taking the majority of the load. 30 appearances through the first half, going 21, 7, and 2. 908 save percentage, 2.85 goals against average for the 81 overall, while Ilya Sorokin, now at the age of 35, yes, at an 85 overall, is 5-5-2 in 13 appearances with 1 shutout, 913 save percentage, and 2.71 goals against average. So that's where we are as a team right now. And moving into the second half, we know that we need a bit more of consistency from the goaltending, as well as definitely from the penalty kill. And if we are to go out and acquire some sort of boost to the bottom six defense, penalty kill, whatever it might be, Ethan Belchet's, as the reigning Calder Trophy winner, does carry a fair bit of value. However, we gotta be honest at the same time that as much as we haven't been impressed with him, you gotta say, well, he's third on the team right now in shooting percentage. He just hasn't been shooting very much. He's only been playing those third line minutes, plus a lot of his ice time also comes from being on one of the penalty kill units, which has been so bad. Maybe he comes off of one of the penalty kill units and we try to squeeze him onto one of the power play units so that the ice time can stay about the same, but he can further capitalize on that 13.8 shooting percentage, which is third on the team right now behind only Horvat and Kapanen. Kapanen, another player who hasn't really scored that much right now, but he's another one who will get more opportunities in the second half as he's returned to full-time second-line center. So Ethan Belchet's, as we'll dive into the comments in a moment, definitely a hot topic and a name that is being thrown around in trade conversations, but if we did move him, it guaranteed wouldn't be right now at the halfway point. Earliest would be the deadline later in this episode, but it would probably be more like a draft type deal as he'll be an expiring RFA. We can reassess younger players around the league, who's coming back into the next season. To move him out right now, it might create, as one of the comments we're about to see says, an unnecessary gap. If we get a player who's a little bit younger and will take a couple of years to grow, who's going to be here in the meanwhile when the older players in the top six are aging themselves out? Belchet's is ready to take over, at least age-wise, from one of these top sixes who will be gone soon enough. If we moved out Ethan Belchet's, it would have to be a player who's very similar in age, overall, and potential to make sense for us organizationally. So let's start with the comment that talks about that gap. It was Cagney who said, "I've been a Belchet's supporter and also think from a storyline perspective it's rare for teams to give up on a Calder winner so soon. Granted, weak field last year and maybe Augustine should have won, but do understand the impetus. The only concern I have is that if you do move ahead with any trade involving him, I think it should be for a young NHL-ready prospect, say within a year. With the team performing well as is, but also getting long in the tooth, and most prospects in the system being a number of years away, it's important to avoid having a gap. I expect Laine may end up getting moved with a similar thought in mind as discussed previously, and probably Sorokin as well, but it should be the theme for the next year or so with trades in my opinion. But so much is going well that it feels like splitting hairs a bit. I'm hoping for another exciting playoff run, preferably one that takes us through the Rangers, and that the end result is another chance at the Cup." Well said, Cagney. Thank you for that. Gavin left a comment saying, this Belchet situation is very interesting. I would maybe try giving him some penalty kill time. He actually already had some. I just hadn't shown the penalty kill units. But yes, he had been on the third unit, I believe. I know his defensive attributes aren't great, but it's a good place for extra ice time. So I think we'll try and reverse that. We'll take him off the penalty kill and put him on the power play. But as Gavin continues, I think a trade involving Belchet would make a bit more sense at the draft. He could be packaged with some other struggling prospects for a pick that could be used to draft a future top six replacement. And if he continues not to produce and we know we are done with him, don't be afraid to throw him on the fourth line, as I'm very curious what Fajmo or pricing have to offer if they were to be in a third line role. Also, I think it would be best to sign JIRI-CHEQUE to that 6-year deal now. He's looking at an extension around $9 million, maybe try to negotiate and get it as low as possible, but he has arguably been our best defenseman, and I think anything under $10 million for him is really good value. Curious to see what other AGMs think. This really is a franchise-defining offseason ahead of us. Great episode, Data, and I will see you at UBS Arena for the second half. Thank you, Gavin. And continuing with the idea of, hey, if Belchet doesn't produce, get Fajmo up there, Caleb says, I say Fajmo line 3 as well as power play, and then get a penalty kill guy for line 4, assuming that we're trading out Belchet's. Also, the team seems to play better with the Emperor behind them. Sorokin has good numbers, but the win-loss ratio doesn't look good. Everything else looks fantastic, just my 2 cents. And I won't read through all this comment from Hockey Sniper, but I just wanted to highlight it as it does bring up some names of potential trades should we say we're doing something in maybe 20 games or so at the deadline. Michael Rasmussen, Bobby Brink, Thomas Bordelot, Trent Frederick, even Emil Heineman, Jake Neighbors, all names to think about should we say something's going to happen in about maybe 15-20 games from now. So with those comments in mind, we'll make some changes to the special teams first and foremost, and we'll see how things go over the simulation of the next 10 games or so. We were 3-5-2 in our last 10, so we'll see the next 10 games. Power play unit 1 will not change with the +5. Power play unit 2 has the +3, and a lot of that is due to the X factors that Vince Dunn has. But Vince Dunn has not really been a big offensive piece on the power play the last few years. He has a combined, he has 10 power play points the last 2.5 seasons or so. So Vince Dunn's going to come off off the power play. We're going to try 5 forwards. Dylan Cousins will be the man at the point as the playmaker, and Ethan Belchetz will get some ice time here on the left wing, which I believe will take the chemistry down to 0. Yes, so it goes from +3 to 0, but Belchetz will get some ice time here. Cousins will be the distributor in the roles, and we'll try like that for the power play. Then over on the penalty kill, we had some discussions in the Discord server, just a lot of frustration around it, but we're going to swap Barzal and Martone on the first and second units. So now it'll be Kapanen Martone on the first, and then Horvat Barzal on the second. And then for defense, we're going to front load it by moving out Hornqvist and bringing in JIRI-CHEQUE. So +5 on the first unit going Zupon and JIRI-CHEQUE, and the second unit will now have Dunn and Hornqvist, of course with Horvat and Barzal, like I just said, getting the +2. And Hornqvist, by the way, does not fit the penalty kill strategy, so I will have a conversation with him, and hopefully the coach, he'll fit the coach's scheme. So if we go to Hornqvist here, I believe most of the rest of the players already fit. So let's see, on ice play, his adaptability is very low for some reason. Scheme fit, let's see. Okay, he's open to it, thank goodness. Penalty kill, and there you go. Okay, I will do my best. Great. So does that change anything? Even if it doesn't change the chemistry at all from the +2, just getting the check mark might do something for simulation. Let's see, and whoa, okay, +4! From +2 to +4, that's great news, and it makes perfect sense. Listen, buddy, you're the rookie. You should be adapting to this coach that has won a Stanley Cup and has been has had much success here with our organization, XYZ, there you go. All right, so trades are going to be kept in mind. Belchetz now in the power play. Penalty kill units swapped up a little bit. We're also going to be sending out that extension offer to David JIRI-CHEQUE. And then another comment asked for us to check out Dean Letourneau. We're going to check that out in just a moment. So all expiring. Zupon, Barzal, we're going to wait to see, especially the older guys who might be regressing. But David JIRI-CHEQUE, who's making $8.19 million, he has been our rock on the blue line. So I wouldn't mind going 6 years on him. A conversation might raise the organizational interest that makes him more willing to sign for cheaper. But let's start with a first opening offer. And we had said, yeah, I think it was 6 years, and we got it down to how low? Let me play around with it again. I mean, in our perfect world, we want to always have a little bit of trade flexibility if possible. But in reality, one of the best defensemen in the league, he would probably be looking for a full no-move clause on his big boy deal, paying him until he's like 33, 34. So as much as I don't want to give it, I think this is the case when you have a 91 overall defenseman who's a top pair guy at this age. I think this is the time when you have to just kind of bite the bullet and say, yeah, we're going to do that. That being said, we'll try and get him a little bit cheaper. We'll go 6 years at $9.25 million. Yeah, we'll do that. 6 years what he likes the most. 6 years, $9.25 million. He's getting a raise monetarily, as well as for the first time in his career getting trade protection. 6 years of a full no-move clause. I don't really want to give it, but if he's willing to sign this deal, I think it's a fair dollar amount that I'm willing to say, you've been such a great piece for us, I want to commit to you, and I want you to commit to us. A beautiful marriage between the two of us. Let's go. So that's our offer to David JIRI-CHEQUE at the moment. Everybody else is going to wait, as we have a huge offseason ahead of us. That's just one part of it. And we also wanted to look at Dean Letourneau. A comment was left in the last one saying, hey, what's been up with him? Speaking of growth and everything, has he ever grown? Doesn't look like it. Is he a 79? Yeah, still a 79 there in Dallas. So we traded him, and he ended up playing 20-29-30 in the AHL, scoring 50 points in 72 games with Texas. And this year in the NHL, he's been a healthy scratch the entire season. So I think it was the right time to kind of cut him loose, as sad as that was. So that's currently Dean Letourneau over in the Dallas Stars organization. All right, so with all that done, I think we can start advancing to this game against the Blue Jackets. Will JIRI-CHEQUE have an answer for us before we play against his old team in Columbus? No, not yet. So here we are facing off against Dobson and the Blue Jackets for the first game of the second half of year number 7. One of the top teams in the league, but we've been cold the last 10 games. We made a few changes, possibly more to come. We can't just let this penalty kill sit and fester. So let's get to it. First period. 4-1 Blue Jackets. Johnson, Lindstrom, Fantilli, and Schultz. 4-on-14 past Augustine as our fourth line center scores the lone goal. Second period, 4-2. All right, Zupon gets us back in it. We're within 2 here in the third period. Power play Blue Jackets killed off. We're within 2 goals from a defenseman and a fourth line center. Where's that top 9? Power play Blue Jackets killed off again. At least there's that. Did they score any power play goals in the first period? No, all even strength. Final 5 minutes, still down by 2. We're getting a lot of shots on net, but Demko is a strong goaltender when he wants to be, and we'll drop this one by a score of 4-2 because of those early 4 goals allowed in the first period. Not a great start, unfortunately. Let's try this game against the Bruins, against Adam Pelech and the Bruins. Advance another day. David JIRI-CHEQUE, come on! He rejects the offer. The salary you have offered is too low for me to consider your offer properly. So that being said, because he should have accepted that if his organizational interest was higher. So let's go back to the conversations in the contracts here. Let's talk to him a little bit. JIRI-CHEQUE, let's negotiate, buddy. Let's negotiate a little bit. So far my experience in the organization has been positive. I'm open to exploring, blah, blah, blah. So I guess the only way we can, just 50-50 charm. Here we go, 50-50, yes, all right. So already it's a little bit more of organizational interest, good. Now, let me share more about the organization. Do I want to risk more organization? Yeah, why not? Let's go for it. We talk about the market, the team status. Team status, we just won a cup a couple of years ago. Come on now. Convincing to persuade. All right, cross those fingers. Convincing. Good. I'm not going to lie. Your perspective has been enlightening. I've only won a Stanley Cup with you, but wow, I'm enlightened. So let's persuade again. Convincing. All right. It's barely going up, but it's going up. Good. You've put things into perspective for me. Okay. So I'm going to stop there while I'm ahead. If he rejects this offer that we're about to send, we can come back to a conversation. But we got the interest up to 7 out of 10 bars. Let's try going from here. So we said 6 years is what we wanted to do. He wanted Whoa, what? Since when do you want 13.9? No. Negotiate. I need to bring you down like 4 million. Not even close. Hold on. So down 3 million, we get it to 10.9. Still not enough. Let's bring it down all the way over there. I never included a clause. Can we discuss that? Yes, we can put a clause in there. Let's put a clause. Full no move clause is fine with me, but if you want 10.9, I need to get it a little bit lower. What is the structure of the clause? Full no move clause. Okay. Yes, full no move clause for 6 years. It gets the interest up a little bit more. Appreciate it. It doesn't quite meet my expectations. We need to reconsider the terms. Increase salary. No, I want to keep decreasing the salary. Promises, clauses. No, so this didn't really work out. So I'm going to stop there. But the interest that he gained organizationally should still be intact, if I understand correctly. Yes, we got to 7 out of 10 bars. So if we go 6 years, can I still change this? Yes. So 6 years. Let's bring it down to the 9 point whatever that we were talking about. So now he wants way more. That's interesting. So he rejected that last offer, and that now has changed what he wants. But you know what? 9.25 is probably way too good to be true anyways. I don't know, a 6 by 11 full no move clause. Maybe 10.85 for 6 years with a full no move clause. Let's try that, and we can try to raise the organizational interest again. 10.85 is probably a bit more realistic, especially with the salary cap being $107 million in this universe in 2031. So we'll keep playing around with JIRI-CHEQUE's contract demands a little bit more. Now at home, hosting the Boston Bruins, the team that eliminated us back in our first postseason berth. Was it year 3? Here we go. First period, 1-0 Bruins. Elias Lindholm opens it up. Second period, 2-1. There you go. Fajmo and Horvat putting us up now 2-1. Shots 21-19 through 40. We hold the lead through 2 periods. Third period action at home. We have and Rasmus Sandin, a rare point, and Cole Eiserman makes it 4 to put it away. I was saying we were 3-5-2 to end the season. To end the last 10 games before the halfway point. Another loss, so 3-6-2 in our last 11 games. And now we'll finally get a dub here against the Bruins. 5-3 the final. Whoa, 3 goals in the last 3 minutes. Byfield and Holmberg before Martone adds one more with 16 seconds left. 3-on-30 past Augustine. Okay, we get 5-on-35. Past, what's his name, Lindblom, was it? Martone a goal and 2 assists. Eiserman a goal and an assist. Horvat with a goal. That's a victory for us. Very nice. Win number 27 on the year. Carl Lindblom, that's who it was. Let's keep advancing. We're going slowly while we're waiting for JIRI-CHEQUE. After that, we'll hit the calendar. One more day here from David. Not yet. Let's advance another day. Through this game, hosting the... Oh no, injured elbow for Hornqvist. Hosting the Capitals, it was. Yes. So Hornqvist is going to be out for a little bit. We're also getting close. Yeah, that reminds me of Ryan Pulock. Ryan Pulock is getting close to 1,000 games played as an Islander. He has to play almost the entire second half if he's going to do that. So for now, he gets back into the lineup playing third pair with Boldzuk. He's had a lot of success there. And if we also want to see the 1,000th game celebration for Brock Besser, that's coming soon. He has 2 more games. All right, 2 more games until that happens. I missed it on Barzal and Laine because I went into the game and I said, hey, why isn't it happening? I didn't know I had to wait until the first stoppage. So that was my mistake. Not interested in extending my contract at this time, says David JIRI-CHEQUE. Okay, so that ends up being a 5-3 loss against the Capitals. Great. Time for a little break now for Augustine. Let's go back to Sorokin, and let's go back to the drawing board on the contract, too. JIRI-CHEQUE, how are we looking now? Let me guess. Okay, I was going to say organizational interest drops down to 2 bars. At 6 years... Hold on. Can we go back to trying? Can I just offer you some more money instead of going back to all the conversations? If we're at 6 years with the full no-move clause, let's see what I can try to get to. Might have to go to like 11.25. 6 years, 11.25 on JIRI-CHEQUE. That might make more sense. And if this doesn't get accepted, then I'll go back to conversations. But 6 years, 11.25 with the full no-move clause should make him a bit more interested. All right, let's keep on advancing until we hear back. Now, in Toronto, Ilya Sorokin between the pipes against Joseph Woll. No, thank you, Vancouver. On the road against the Maple Leafs, that's a 4-3 loss. Come on! And JIRI-CHEQUE still says no to that. So back to the conversations. Has the interest changed at all? No, still the 7 bars. 7 out of 10 bars. And now he wants 6 by 14. His demand keeps changing. So I'm going to go back to negotiations here. And let's go, David. Back for another round. Oh, I can't? What do you mean? Ah, now it's too late to give him more sway or whatever? Oh, come on. So if I say 6 years, I can't tell him anything more about being team-friendly. Negotiate. He says no. But then if I say it again, we need to revisit. Now he says yes. Okay. So if we take it off 3 million down to 11.15, he needs more. We'll put the clause, blah, blah, blah. Maybe promises then. Let's go to promises. So I can definitely tell you top 4 defenseman. What's he more interested in? Power play. I can't guarantee power play always. Definitely top 4. Usually a first pair, but definitely that. It doesn't quite meet my expectations. Even it went down a little bit, his interest, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Back to promises then. How about, I can't even tell you first pair anymore. Penalty kill for sure. I promise he won't. What if he does want to be on the penalty kill? How do I know what he wants? Raises it a little bit by telling him the penalty kill promise. And we'll send him that. I can't tell him anything else. I can increase the salary a little bit from 11.15. I could another 250K. That gets it to 11.4 for 6 years. All right, final offer. Let's see it. But I'm not sure this organization is the right fit for me. Even I think it's best we end this negotiation. But what's the point of this? What's the point of these conversations? Can I still talk to him, or am I still locked into those promises? Yeah, I'm still locked into playing first or second defensive pair, and still locked into playing the penalty kill. Fine, I don't mind being locked into that. But his organizational interest has continued to drop. So maybe I just need to give it a rest on David JIRI-CHEQUE for a little bit. Let's just get to the calendar. I can't spend the entire episode just thinking all about him. We'll overpay him in the offseason if we have to. But right now, let's just let him be. All right? Let's get some simulation done. We're going to keep rolling with Sorokin for a few more games. Let's give him these next 2 against the Blackhawks and the Blue Jackets. 2 losing teams. And now he wants a conversation. Hello, David. Let me guess. Promises, right? There's some assurances about my spot in the lineup. I'll make sure. But those promises were for you if you were going to re-sign the extension. Yes, you will be playing top 4 this year. It's only been 42 games or whatever. And yes, you will be used on the penalty kill. Yes, you've only been there for 43 games already. Let me back out here. Hornquist is healthy. And that's a 3-1 win. Oh, wait, was that game? Oh, that was game 1,000 for Besser. Oh, my brain is totally overrun by David JIRI-CHEQUE. As the Blackhawks, we beat them 4-2. Then we beat the Blue Jackets 3-1 on the road in Columbus. And now Hornquist will be healthy to come in against the Oilers. Wyatt Kaiser on waivers. Defenseman making $825K, 78 overall. No, I'll decline on that. No problem. So after all those losses, we finally win back-to-back games for the first time in a little while. Brock Besser, let me guess, he played his 1,000th game. No, 1,001 now even. Okay, I guess last time I went in, okay, I would have missed it anyways. Last time I went in, it hadn't counted the game that had just been played as the injury had happened and the game that had just been played hadn't been registered, whatever. So, sorry, I guess I missed it. I tried. I truly tried. So Brock Besser now over 1,000 games played, playing in his 6th season as an Islander. Congrats, Brock. Give you the golden stick and everything. Okay, on to defense now. Ryan Pulock could be our last chance to see someone who plays 1,000 games in his career. He has to play 33 more games. He could get there this year, but we need Hornqvist to get the ice time. I don't want to take out anybody in this lineup really for no reason. Bolzuk's only a +2. Usually he's like a +30. So maybe Bolzuk comes out and Hornqvist plays for a little bit. Let's try Pulock and Hornqvist. Pulock, let's get you to those 1,000 games, man. This might be your last chance. And Sorokin back-to-back wins will keep you in. My goodness, so much going on at once here. So back to the calendar. We'll play Edmonton, then St. Louis, and then it's the All-Star break. So let's just sim. Let's just sim now. Here we go. Hosting the Oilers, who are 22, 20, and 5. We beat them 6-3. And then hosting the St. Louis Blues. That was win number 30 on the year, by the way. Hosting the Blues, 5-4 overtime win. It's a 4-game win streak into the All-Star break. Everyone enjoy the family, relax. On the road in Boston, 4-3 win. Picking up where we left off. Hosting the Flyers, 5-3 win. Keep it rolling. Don't stop for a second. Minnesota, then Anaheim, hosting a couple of Western Conference teams. The Wild, we beat them 4-2. And the Ducks, we beat them 6-5. That was a close one, though, allowing 5 goals. That's now a 3-4. 5, 6, 7, 8-game win streak, finally. After that little bit of rough patch we had seen, 35, 14, and 4 is our record. Being 8-2-0 in our last 10 games. Let's see how Ethan Belchetz has done over the last 10 games. Let's see, not game logs, split stats. Last 10 games, 3 goals, 5 points, +5. All right, we'll take that. 5 points in 10 games. If you can be a 40-point guy, that's the pace that he's showing, that's all right. In a third-line role, at least. And then Ryan Pulock, how you doing, man? He's a +3 with 4 points. Okay. Hornqvist, the rookie, +18 right now. Whoa. And goaltending, Ilya Sorokin, not the greatest numbers, but he's 12-6-2 with 1 shutout, 905 save percentage, 2.82 goals against average. I'm going to give Augustine a few chances now. Yes, we've been winning, but those have been some high-scoring games against. Not always, but Sorokin consistently allowing 3 goals or more over the last handful of games. So we're going to go with the Emperor over the next, let's say, 3. Let's even go see the Buffalo Sabres against Cousins' old team. So here we go, hosting the Avalanche, 3-1 win to continue the streak. That's 9 in a row. Hosting Utah, 5-4 win, make it 10 double digits. Now hosting the Calgary Flames, 1 more. Sore foot for Bo Top 50. Horvat out till March 2nd. Really, that's a bit of a long one for just a sore foot. And I just reminded myself I have to go update the scouting reports. So Oliver Kapanen goes to the top line. Cousins to the second line. Arcuri, yeah, okay. Arcuri third line. And Nurmi will come in on the fourth line. 70 face-offs. I suppose he'll play center. Yeah, we'll do that. And then replacing on the power play. Let me take care of this for a second. I'm going to have Fagemo actually replace Horvat for the majority of those spots in the lineup. All right, pause, and here we are. And a 3-2 win against Calgary. The win streak continues. Yes, all right. So I'm going to pause here, update the scouting, then we'll go see the Sabres, who are 19, 32, and 6, as Dylan Cousins will return to his old team as second-line center here for the Islanders. All right, scouts are set. Let's continue here on the road in Buffalo against the 19, 32, and 6 Sabres. We are on a 10-plus game win streak here. Let's keep it rolling. First period, 2-0 Sabres early, of course. The slow sim is going to kill us. Melnick and Benson score on Augustine. Second period, 3-1 goal apiece. Also makes it 3-0, but Martone on the power play gives us life. We're out shooting Buffalo 28-20, but we're down by 2 in the third. Hold on, Oliver Kapanen. I believe I was just checking his stats before. 9 points in his last 11 games now, and Dylan Cousins against his old team that left him buried. And then Sandin puts us ahead, and Oliver Kapanen with his second. 10 points in his last 11 games. Power play Buffalo, killed off by the Isles. Power play New York now. It's a goal from Martone as the power play expires. His second of the game as well. And what a comeback this is. From down 3-0 to a 6-3 victory. Shots end 45-31 in our favor, and we take apart and dismantle the Buffalo Sabres. 2 goals and an assist from Porter Martone. A goal and 2 assists from Cousins in his return. And Oliver Kapanen scores twice to now give us, how many games is it in a row? Let's look officially what it's at now. And line a bruised arm out until March 4th. Okay, hang on a second. We'll have to call somebody up now. And you know what? That's an easy one. It's got to be Brock Nelson. Let's have him play just in 1 game or whatever it's going to be, like maybe half a week or something. Let's have him be welcomed back to the lineup as Fagemo will move up to the third line and Nelson will play fourth line center, appearing in, what, how many seasons now? Let's see. 17, appearing in his 17th season as an Islander, even if it's only for 2 games. Here he is, Brock Nelson, welcome back. So Pricing will go here. Fajmo up on the third line. Wonderful. So that is now a 12-game win streak, ladies and gentlemen, as we'll be going for 40 here on the road in Pittsburgh. Can we make it win number 40 and a 13th win in a row against the 24-31-1 Pittsburgh Penguins? A couple more games until we should have Horvat and Laine both back from their injuries. 4-1 Islanders after 20 pricing. Brock Nelson on the power play where he's replacing Patrick Laine. Fajmo on the third line. Belchus on the third line. Let's go. 5-3 Porter Martone on the power play, and this one ends 6-3 the final as Augustine allowed 3 on 11, ultimately 3 on 22. 2 goals from Ethan Belchetz. Brock Nelson scoring, that's great to see. Fajmo a goal and 3 assists up on the third line. We were wondering how would he look with more ice time, and there's the answer. Third line role, and he has a 4-point night. Wow. All right, let's keep on going to... I think Horvat should be back by the third, or is it? Yeah, I think he's back by the third. Let's sim through the Red Wings game hosting them. 5-1 win. And that's now 14 wins in a row. We hit 40. Let's go, yeah, edit lines as Horvat should be back. So we hit 40-plus wins. It's 14 consecutive victories. And now Bo Horvat, yes, back to full health as Laine is still not quite there yet. So... Brock Nelson, what has he done? 2 games, 2 points, incredible. Fajmo, he's loving life. And what? He scored 2 goals and 3 points! Since moving to the third line, Fajmo has 3 goals and 4 assists for 7 points in 2 games. What in the world? No, we can't move him down. We can't move him down. It's going to be Arcuri who moves back down. Wow, okay, let me give me a second to fix the lineup now. Samuel Fajmo, you are a mad man. All right, so here we go against Dallas. Let's go through this game. You know what? I'm going to sim it just because I want to see what Fajmo does, if anything. Still in the third line role. No longer centering the first unit power play, but still on the first unit itself, as he'll now be replacing Laine in that spot. Anyways, first period, 1-0 Brock Besser. Second period, 1-0 remains. Shots 36-13 for the Isles through 40 minutes. Third period action, Dallas trying to hang on. Robertson ties it, 1-17. We have 1-43. Power play Dallas, killed off. Power play Isles. Come on, Fajmo! No, that one's killed off. 1-1 game to the final 5 minutes now. Can we keep the win streak going? Power play Dallas, killed off. Can we make it 15 in a row? Brock Besser with his second! And that's going to be the only... No, Nick Suzuki. I'm trying to find my words. I'm sorry. I was saying that's the second goal for him and the only one to have scored for the Islanders. I was trying to get out of my mouth before Suzuki scored. So Brock Besser is the lone goal scorer, both goals coming from him. We're off to overtime as Suzuki scores with 7 seconds left. Shots end 49-28, and now here we go, trying to make it 15 in a row in 3-on-3 action. Will the streak continue? Yes, it will! David JIRI-CHEQUE as the Islanders win 3-2, outshooting the Stars 53-30. And another victory for the Isles. 2 goals from Besser, 28 saves from Augustine. Ottinger makes 50 saves, but it's not enough. Poor guy. Brock Besser was the hero in this one, though, absolutely. Wow, 15 consecutive victories. Well, I gotta start looking up numbers now. So that ties the 1982 New York Islanders for the third longest streak in NHL history at 15 consecutive wins. The Islanders from January 21st to February 20th of 1982 won 15 consecutive games. The NHL record currently held, of course, by the Pittsburgh Penguins, who won 17 in a row in 1993. So here we go against the Panthers on the road to beat and Laine's healthy, to beat the franchise record and to tie the Blue Jackets for the second most in NHL history. We'll get that going in just a moment. Fajmo, does he get bumped back down? I don't think he scored anything in that last game if you look at the game logs. No points, but a +1. So Laine will return to the lineup, but I don't know what to do about Fajmo. Maybe Laine comes back and we just say, hey, take it easy in your first game back. So Nelson will come out of the lineup. Laine will slot in. Let's put him 4th line just to say, hey, you're back. You just had that bruise or whatever going on. Let's ease you back into it. So Laine will play 4th line back in the lineup, but Fajmo has been too hot to take out just yet. So here we go against the Panthers on the road in Florida against the 32-24-6 Cats to try and make a new franchise record for 16 consecutive victories. First period, 3-1 Panthers. Kapanen opens it up, but then Novak, Glass, and Burakovsky make it 3-1. Second period, 3-2. Dylan Cousin brings us within 1. Shots are 23-17 for Florida. We're down by 1. No, down by 2. Reinhardt makes it 4-2 Florida. Come on, boys. For history, we've tied the franchise record. We're tied for 3rd in NHL history. We want to go one more step up. Power play Panthers, and that'll put it to bed probably. 5-2 Florida. Tkachuk scoring on the power play. 5-on-30 past Augustine. As we get to 15, Pricing scores make it 5-3. No, we get to 15, but that'll be all she wrote. What a record, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone, just a standing ovation for the Islanders, whose streak ends at 15 consecutive victories. Wow, wow, wow. Bringing our record now to 42, 15, and 4. Now I'm going to go ahead and get Laine back to where he should be in the lineup. As great as Fagemo has been, it's great to know for the future, but we can't keep doing Laine dirty like that. So let's bump him back to where he belongs. I was also taking a peek at the contract demands, and things haven't really been changing too much. Dupont still wants a ton. JIRI-CHEQUE's still not really budging off of what he wants. But for Ethan Belchetz, who we're still not totally determined on, it might be time to at least lock him into an affordable AAV. 3 years to stay as an RFA. He only wants 2.375. We could bring it down to maybe 2.1. Even 2.05. Yeah, 3 years at 2.1 would probably get accepted by Ethan Belchetz. Whether or not we keep him, that's a good deal that another team would want to take a chance on bringing him in on, as opposed to bringing him in as an RFA. So 3 years at 2.1 on Belchetz. Either he becomes a top 6 forward within the next year or 2, and then he needs his contract after that, and he'll be an RFA, or we trade him, and he's under contract, and teams will be happy about that. So I'm going to say let's send that to Ethan Belchetz, and that'll be the one extension that we continue to send out as we are approaching the trade deadline, actually. After a 15-game win streak, I don't think there's really anything to say that we need to do. Looking on the right side, our power play and penalty kill. Actually, our power play got a little bit worse slightly, I think. And the penalty kill has gotten better from like 77 point something to now almost 81%. So that's great to see. I'll do my due diligence and look at trade blocks around the NHL, but I don't think a trade is likely at this time. Because if you think about it, for the forwards, we have Nurmi, we have even Brock Nelson. And in our lineup, we can bump up guys like Fagemo if needed. For the defense, we have Boldzuk ready to go. We could call up even Enkvist if there was an emergency. It's more the goaltending. If we could get maybe like a 3rd goalie for a 7th round pick or something as like an extra insurance. So maybe that would be what I look at here. And it looks like the only name on the block that would make sense would be over in Los Angeles. There's a couple of goalies here in Los Angeles that would make sense, and that's it. Linus Ullmark or Elvis Merzlikins. Linus Ullmark would be the better option. He has much better numbers at an 81 overall, 42 appearances with the Kings this year as well. Merzlikins, 23 games played in the AHL. Numbers aren't as great. So Linus Ullmark would be the guy. They are sellers, despite being 32, 22, and 8. They want to get some value for Ullmark, I suppose, so I won't question that too much if they really want to get value out of him. So what could I send you? Not much. Like, would a 7th round pick get it done? It might, actually. So a 7th round pick for Linus Ullmark just as a guarantee, maybe. Who knows what happens? Yes, they would do that. Huh. Maybe I could keep the 7th and just trade them a random prospect. Like, here's Sylvester, 69-24. Maybe I'll trade you him instead. Sylvester for Ullmark. Would you say that? Yes, this? No. So how about I give you Sylvester, even... Hold on, can we dump a couple names here? 68-23, these defensemen in our system who just aren't growing at all. Can I trade you 3 stagnating defensemen? You have a random defenseman in the AHL, send me back. 71-21, but medium top 6, they probably want to trade him. 70-22, low top 6D. No, 71-21, low top 6D. Let's try that. 71-21, low top 6D for some low top 4Ds, but older, and I'm not as sold on them, and Linus Ullmark. Could you even throw me in a 7th there? Because you're getting 3 players. And you're only giving up 1 in terms of AHL? I doubt it, but you don't have if you don't ask. What do you say, Los Angeles? You do it. All right. Thank you, LA. You're happy to accept it. Thank you very much. I mean, in theory, those are 3 players with low top 4D potential. Who knows who, maybe someone they're confident of their minor league coaching system to fix them. So now, because we have the 3rd goalie, we have to send down a forward or a skater, and that would be Brock Nelson. So Brock Nelson, actually no, Higgins. Higgins goes down easily. Is that all we need to do? No, there's still more roster moves. We're still at 21. Okay, so yeah, Brock Nelson does indeed have to go down through waivers, but no problem. He does not get claimed, and we can now fix the AHL lines. Okay, and there we go. Linus Ullmark, welcome to Long Island. We'll see how much we use you, if even at all. But the Kings wanted to move you. They had an excess of goaltenders. We'll say all right. So that's our lone trade deadline move, as we'll sim through the deadline and get to this game here against the Blue Jackets. One of the guys we just put on waivers, that we just traded to LA, gets put on waivers. So I will have to decline to keep from cheesing anything there, but that would be tempting just to claim him back, even though we let him walk in free agency in the offseason. So we'll sim through the deadline and go to this game here as the 23-31-6 Blue Jackets. And let's sim it hosting Columbus here in the final stretch of the season. First period, 2-0 Blue Jackets. Of course, the slow sim hates us. 3-3 though. JIRI-CHEQUE against his old team. Horvat. Marchenko puts the Blue Jackets back up, but then Kapanen ties it. 3-3 here in the third period, outshooting them 28-21. A classic rivalry between the Islanders and the Blue Jackets. Power play, Columbus killed off. There you go. Pound Killer standing strong. Rasmus Sandin with a go-ahead goal as of now. 4-3 Isles. Will that be enough? Let's sim it, and it is. 6-4 the finals. Matejchuk ties it, but Fagemo gets the game winner, and Horvat adds an empty netter. There you go. Samuel Fagemo, baby. What a machine. What a machine. All right. Pospisil on waivers. Oh, that's interesting. But in this universe, what is he? 78 overall. No, for the forwards, we're okay. We'll decline Pospisil. So another victory. We're back on the horse now. 15-1-0 in our last 16 games. And we can get to the calendar. Maybe a Stanley Cup Final rematch against the Jets from a few years ago. Let's go see them. Ethan Belchet's also accepting the contract extension. There you go. Enthusiastically doing so. Great. So that's one piece taken care of for the offseason ahead. Very busy offseason. We know that with how things are going with JIRI-CHEQUE too. We'll try and get some more offers sent out before the start of next episode, which will be the postseason. 4-3 win. 2-0 shutout victory. Augustine's first shutout of the season. There you go. We're back on the horse victory-wise. We're at 45 wins now, facing the Jets, who are looking for their 40th win. Have a long rivalry against them as well. Jets up 2-0 after 20. Second period, 3-2. We scored twice. Kyle Connor makes it 3-0, but then Laine and Horvat get us back in it. Outshooting the Jets 23-16 after 40. 3-2 Jets. Power play for Winnipeg. It's killed off. 5 minutes into the period. It's Ralph Pricing making it 3-3. Fourth line offense coming through. Power play Jets killed off. Power play Islanders. The go-ahead goal in our grasp, but no, it's a power play goal from Scheifele as those power plays ping-ponging back and forth. The Jets now up 4-3. Will that be enough to win it for Winnipeg? Yes, as Scheifele adds one more. We dropped that one 5-3. Our first loss in a little bit. It's the slow sim. I'm telling you, it's the slow sim. All right, let's just get a bunch of calendar simulation done then, if that's the case. We'll keep Augustine as the guy unless we need to move him for whatever reason, but we're going to keep rolling with him. Ullmark is just in case of injury or collapse. 2-1 loss, 6-2 loss. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. So let's give Augustine the night off after a 6-2 loss. We've lost 3 in a row after having all those wins consecutively. So let's make a little change. Let's fully give him the night off by having Linus Ullmark come in, making his Islanders debut. Since being with the Senators, he played 1 year in Philly, now half of 1 year in LA, and now the former Vezina and Jennings Trophy winner is an Islander to try and get one last look at a cup before maybe he would be sitting in free agency for all of next season. Against his old team, the Ottawa Senators. Let's do it. Linus Ullmark making his Islanders debut. First period, 3-2 after 20. Wow. Horvat power play, Martone shorthanded, and then this guy, Patrick Roy, and then Chinnikov power play, Greg, 3-2, just like that. 5-3, yikes. Okay, let's just call it a day. 5-4, Kapanen coming back with a power play goal, but Ullmark allowing 5 on 29. Not a great debut for him. As we score 4, but allow 5. That's the problem we're seeing now, is we're on a 4-game losing streak after winning 15 in a row. So let's go back to giving Sorokin a chance now, as Augustine will now back him up. Down to an 84 overall is Ilya Sorokin, advancing a day, facing off against the Devils. They're also looking for their 40th win. We gave it to the Jets. Let's not give it to New Jersey. A lot of slow sims in this one. We got to start winning in the slow sim. That's what we need to win in the playoffs. 2-0 Islanders after 20. Laine and Hornqvist, thank you very much. Second period, 3-3. Great. Laine puts us up 3-0, but then a power play goal from Turcotte and even strength goals from Meyer and Hughes tied at 3. Shots tied at 25 as well. Final 20 minutes. Let's not lose what? Is it, how many? I already forgot. Is it 3 in a row? 4 in a row? Let's not make it 5 in a row. Power play Isles. Come on now, gentlemen. Extended power play. So long. What a great look. Nothing comes from it. 5 minutes to go. Still all tied up. Next one will be the winner. Final minute, and we're off to overtime. Shots 38-35 for the Devils through 60. 3-on-3 overtime action. Final minute. We're off to a shootout. Shots end 42-38 for the Devils, and they win in the shootout. Whew, the slow sim just hates us. All right, let's go to the calendar. Let's go see the Rangers into one of the final games of the season. Sorokin's going to start for a little while unless we need to stop for whatever reason. Sorokin and the Islanders hosting the Capitals now, a losing team. We beat them just barely 5-4. And Belchet's has a sore knee. Out till April 7th. Okay, so that's easy for Fajmo to slot up. And then Nurmi will come in on the 4th line. And then the power play, that'll go to Fajmo as well. Okay, there we go. And you gotta pause, the calendar's wonky, blah, blah, blah. Finishing back. Okay, so 5-4 win, 2-1 loss, 3-1 win. All right, Sorokin, you've given me enough confidence for a few more games here. We'll go to the home and home coming up against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Back-to-back games on the road against the Flyers in Philly, and then hosting the Devils right after that. The Flyers fire their head coach moving into this game, or I don't know if it was after losing against us. We shut them out 2-0, then a 6-1 win against the Devils. Sorokin's looking good. Can we get win number 50 here on the road in Toronto against the Leafs? So slow. 3-2 shootout loss. I'm going to give Sorokin a rest. Who knows? Maybe he's our starter for the playoffs. Who knows? But I'll give him a rest. And we'll go to, I don't know, do we go to Augustine or give another chance to Allmark? I don't know. Maybe we leave Allmark just as the emergency backup that we acquired him to be. Let's go to Augustine here against the Maple Leafs for the second half of the home and home here. At home to host Toronto, looking for win number 50. Can we do it, Augustine, between the pipes? First period, 2-1 Maple Leafs. Lucius, Besser answers, then Lucius gets his second. Second period, 2-1 it remains. Shots 26-16 for Toronto. We're down by 1 here in the third on home ice at UBS Arena. Can we make it a, what is that, 4th consecutive 50-plus win season? Brock Besser with his second. Kapanen on the power play. Still on the power play of the Islanders. Killed off by the Maple Leafs finally in the end after we got 1. Power play Toronto. That's a power play goal from Matthew Nyes, making it a 3-3 game. 5 minutes to go. Can there be a hero for us late? 2 minutes left, 90 seconds, we're off to overtime. 1 goal, and we hit 50. Who's it going to be in 3-on-3 action? It's a 3-3 game. Maple Leafs out shooting us by quite a bit at the end of 65 minutes. Shots 45-34 for Toronto. And in the shootout, the Maple Leafs take it. Marner and Lucius score. Oh, man. Back-to-back losses beyond regulation. Back-to-back shootout losses against the Maple Leafs. And we're still looking for win number 50. I'll give... Now in the final stretch, let's give Augustine this game on the road against the Senators. Can we get win number 50 here? And it's a 3-2 victory. Thank you very much. How many games left in the season? Belchet's now fully healed. Good. Let's get him back in. All right, here we go. Let's see it now. We're back to full strength. That's game, I think that was game 997. I just checked on Ryan Pulock. So we've been trying to get him to game 1,000. It's almost there. On the road in Detroit. Augustine starting another one. 4-3 win. I'll go to Sorokin now against the Rangers. Let's see a slow sim game with Sorokin between the pipes. This is also game 999, I believe, for Ryan Pulock. We've been trying to get him to 1,000. This is, yes, game 999 for Ryan Pulock. The 4th player, he will be the 4th player this season to hit 1,000 games played with the Islanders. Not as an Islander, but with the Islanders. As Barzal did it as an Isle, Pulock will do it as an Isle. And then Laine and Besser also hitting 1,000 games played in the NHL. So here we go, hosting the New York Rangers. Battle of New York might be coming our way in the postseason. You never know. First period, 0-0. Second period, 1-0 Isles. Brock Besser on the power play. Shots 22-18 in our favor. Let's just sim through it. 2-2 at the end of regulation. Cole Eiserman scores to put us ahead, but then Ratu ties it. Overtime action, off to a shootout. Oh, and the Rangers win another shootout loss. 3 consecutive shootout losses when we go in to watch the game. So they get us there. On the road in Utah, we finally made it. Ryan Pulock's 1,000th NHL game. I thankfully did not miss it. Let's hop in and see it. Waiting for the first stoppage to celebrate Ryan Pulock. Put it on net, Bo. Let's see. Try to get a whistle. Zupon at the point. Horvat in the corner. Back up to JIRI-CHEQUE. Over to Martone. Stopped by Koronin. And this might be it here. With the Tucson Roadrunners helmet. This might be it here for Ryan Pulock. No. So, when does it come? When does the celebration happen? And there you go, Utah goal. Horrible. Where's Sorokin going? Not even close to covering that part of the net. When can I get out of this game to just... When's it going to happen? Do I have to wait for the first offside? What is it? This is... What? This is why we can't go in to watch games. This is why we can't go in to watch games. There you go. Let the music blast out of the controller. Nobody's watching anybody. Rocket off the stick. Yep. This is what I get for going in to watch games. And then he put his arm through his own back. NHL 25, $130 deluxe edition. 3 goals on 4 shots off of his blocker and just trickles in. I just want to see the 1,000 game celebration. I didn't get it for Besser. I didn't get it for Barzal. I didn't get it for Laine. Ryan Pulock, 1,000 games as an Islander. And we need to be subjected to this drivel as Iginla scores for 3 goals on 4 shots and then puts his arm through the stick through his own neck. I'm gone. I'm out. I'm out. So now we're going to lose that game and Sorokin's numbers are going to be atrocious. As we just wanted to see the celebration. 3 goals on 4 shots. And in the end, we lose, what, 7-1? It is, drumroll please, a 6-1 loss. There you go. That's what I get for trying to see something fun. That's what I get. Sorry, Sorokin, that wasn't your fault. So let's keep on simulating through it. How many games are we at now? What game of the season are we in? I don't even know where we are. That was game 80. We've clinched the conference. That's great. That's nice to see. 2 more games in the season. So 1 more game to Sorokin against the 52-21-7 St. Louis Blues. 7-4 victory. We beat them 7-4. Okay. And then the last game of the year, we'll go to Augustine to see if he can be our starter for the postseason. We'll see what happens. 1 more game to him to end off the year. We were on pace for... Well, we were on pace for 52 wins, were we not? So we can go ahead and win 50. If we win this game, that'll be... So we've won 52, sorry. This would put us above projections by winning this game. If we actually lose in regulation, that'll be an exact copy of the first half, going 26, 11, and 4. However, the second half involved a 15-game win streak. So it just shows how streaky things can be. Here we go. Last game of the year for our 7th season with the Isles. Let's finish it off. Goodness. First period 0-0, second period 2-1 Florida, Verhaeghe, Besser, Ekblad. Third period down by 1. Come on, let's hit 53. Just surpass those first half projections. Tkachuk makes it 3-1. Power play Isles going nowhere. But JIRI-CHEQUE makes it 3-2. We're back within 1. Ethan Belchetz ties it. Thank you. 3-3 game. Let's hit 53. Come on. 10 minutes to go. Yes! Bo top 50 Horvat, the captain, coming through for the team. And Matty Barzal makes it 5. From down 3-1, sorry, didn't mean to do that, to now up 5-3. Sharon Govich makes it 5-4. Final 90 seconds. And we hang on for the win. Shots end tied at 30, but we win 5-4 the final. Besser a goal and 2 assists. Horvat a goal and an assist. And we complete our 7th season with the Islanders with a record of 53, 21, and 8. Wow, wow, wow. Did everyone play game 82? Looks like it. So let's check things out now. We won the Eastern Conference, but did we win the President's Trophy? Yes, we did! Finally! By 1 point over the Blues for the first time in the GM data era. 7 years later. And you know what? Technically also for the first time in franchise history. I'm not sure if the Islanders ever led the league in points prior to the President's Trophy starting in, I believe it was the 1986 season. But the Islanders had never won the President's Trophy since the trophy came into existence. So we've won back-to-back Eastern Conferences. We've done it twice now in 7 years, doing so now back-to-back. But it's our first President's Trophy in franchise history, our 3rd consecutive season of 50-plus wins, and our 4th in the last 5 seasons of 50-plus wins. Wow, a lot to be excited about here on Long Island. 53, 21, and 8 was the record. 3.89 goals for per game, 2nd in the NHL, only to Winnipeg. 2.95 goals against per game, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th in the league. Or I guess 7th, a few ties there, so 7th we'll say, 7th best. Power play ends at 20.5%, very good. Not amongst the top 8, but let's see, 9. Actually, yeah, 9th. Very good. 9th best in the league at 20.5%. Now the penalty kill, which at the halfway point was at 77.9, correct? It ends at 81.9, so up 4%. So those changes did make a difference. Still not amazing, like in the top 10, but in the top half of the league and a big improvement in the second half. We will gladly take that. 28, 8, and 5 at home. 6, 1, and 3 record to end the season in our last 10 games. And in the end, Matty Barzal led the team in points. Really, 91 points from the now 33-year-old. Great totals from him, 65 assist season. Wow. So a third consecutive point-per-game plus season, 4 of his last 5. Matty Barzal, well done, turning back the clock. Also surpassing 1,000 career points this season. Great year for Matty Barzal to lead the team. Brock Besser, 90 points from him. That's what we wanted when we signed him for $13 million. The 34-year-old puts up his second best season as an Islander. After 82 points last season, he follows up with 90 this season. Not slowing down. Awesome. 33 goals, 57 assists, 90 points, yes. Bo Horvat did slow down a little bit in the second half, but will still take 38 goals and 86 points from the 36-year-old absolutely every time. So that is now a, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... fifth consecutive point-per-game plus season from Bo Horvat. The goals went down 42, 44, 46, 48, back down to 38. But again, gladly will accept 86 points from the 36-year-old captain. Porter Martone, career year, 74 points. He didn't hit the pace of 88, but he still surpasses the career high that he set last season by 6 more points. Also 25 goals, surpassing his 3 straight seasons of 20. So Porter Martone, well done to him. Cole Eiserman, 35 goals and 73 points. He didn't hit point per game. He didn't hit 40 goals. So again, a bit of a slowdown. We can accept those totals from him. Landon Zupon was on pace for 64 or 68, I forget. He ends with 58 and also a plus 49. Again, same trend for everybody. So a bit of a slowdown in the second half, but still great numbers. Patrick Laine was on pace for 60-some. He ends with 26 goals and 57 points, playing under 13 minutes per night. That's honestly even more than we could expect out of him. So Patrick Laine was a trooper this year. Let's try and get him a Stanley Cup to say thank you. Oliver Kapanen, 57 points on the season. He played 17:39 of ice time. I don't know, last year scored 66. His power play points went up. He scored 66 playing 15 minutes per night. Now 239 more on average per game, and he scores 9 less points. Still a good year again. He's there for his two-way game and everything. Dylan Cousins was on pace for 60. He ends with 56. Still way better than what he was doing in Buffalo. David JIRI-CHEQUE, 51, career high with a plus 56 as well. Samuel Fagemo, playing just under 9 minutes per game on average, scores 41 points. A career high by far. As he had his previous career high was what? Yeah, set with us, I suppose, of 27. Wow, 17 points last year, 41 points this year. Is he still signed on another season? Yes, let's try and get him into a third-line role. Maybe next year. I don't know, depends on how players age and all that. Lining will be gone, maybe. Yeah, I could see it. But well done to him. Ethan Belchetz, yeah, come on. 30 points in 76 games, playing 14-18 of ice time. I get it. But 0 power play points in the second half of the season. 0. Yes, he was injured for 6 games. So he played 35 games in the second half of the season on the second unit power play and got 0 power play points. Is it time to move Ethan Belchetz? Maybe. Moved up in goals from 13 to 17, but just 30 points in 76 games with that ice time. I'm not impressed. Vince Dunn, 28 points plus 9. That's understandable at 34 years of age and in a second pair role. Ralph Pricing scored 14 goals and 22 points, playing 7:45 per night. Arcuri, 22 points as fourth-line center. Rasmus Sandin, 19 points and plus 19. Love him. Hornqvist in his rookie season, 18 points and a plus 27 in 75 games played. Ryan Pulock, 10 points and a plus 7 in 48 games played for the lifer here on Long Island, surpassing 1,000 games played as an Islander. Congratulations. Now, do we take him out and put in Boldzuk, who in 7 less games had 4 less points and 5 less... it was -5 less in the plus-minus, or do we keep Pulock for the postseason? Nurmi, 9 games, 1 assist. And for the goaltending, let's see it. Trey Augustine in 55 appearances went 36, 15, and 4, 1 shutout, 905 save percentage, and 2.94 goals against average, while Ilya Sorokin went 17, 8, and 4 with 2 shutouts, 910 save percentage, and 2.71 goals against average. Linus Ullmark in his 1 start as an Islander, his 1 appearance, 5 goals on 29 shots. Yeah, not great. So he's going to stay in the emergency backup role. So who's our starter for the postseason? In the playoffs, historically, it has been Trey Augustine. Sorokin in simulation as an Islander. These 3 years right here. 895, 920, 917 save percentage. The last couple of runs in 2028 and 2029 have been a lot better. He didn't get to play at all in 2030. But in 2028 and 2029, he looked very, very good. Does Sorokin get the nod? Or do we continue with Trey Augustine, who, in his playoff stats, as an Islander, in 19 appearances, is 13, 4, and 2, 3 shutouts, 917 save percentage, and 2.42 goals against average. And I just noticed his elite potential has dropped to starter, so that's a joke as well. The guy can never get a break. He's been an 81 for years, despite everything going on. Anyway, so who's our starter for the postseason? That'll be one of the major questions for you to think of as an AGM. Down in the AHL, horrible offense. This is crazy. And goaltending, Ivankovic, trade him as well. He's stuck as well in his overall. Ivankovic, whatever his name is, with Carbonneau and I don't know who else, Sorokin, Line. We can make some, and Belchez, we can make some big trades here in the offseason. Somehow a winning record of 39, 26, and 5, despite the almost non-existent scoring. But anyways, I think that about does it. Maybe one more contract extension before the postseason starts, since we're about to sim a couple of days, and that could be a chance for one last shot in the dark here. 6 years, 14 million is what JIRI-CHEQUE wants. If we go with a full no move clause, yeah, 6x14 would have to be what we offer, unless we have another conversation or something. Could there even be conversations after we already had it? We have 33.8 million left in extension dollars. No, we can't even back for another round of negotiations. It's been months, so we can't have another conversation with him. That's unfortunate. So moving into the postseason episode, do we give extensions, or do we at least send extensions? Let's say Dupont wants 5x12.675. That's reasonable. Plus, we could get it down with how interested he is in signing the organization. We could get it down by quite a bit. We could definitely get it down into probably even the 10s. Could it be? Yeah, we get it into the 10s. Like 10.75 for, no, that's a bit too much. Maybe 10 point, maybe at 11? Maybe 5x11. But then you'd be expiring UFA. Or do we go to 4 years and paying a bit more so that he stays as an RFA? Maybe 4x11 maybe 4x12 to keep him as an RFA type of thing. Or do we go big and try the 8-year deal where we can add some clauses, and we'd probably have to be getting into the 13 point, and with a no move clause. If we had the no move clause, which makes perfect sense, we'd probably be offering about 13.5 million to Dupont. So consider that as well for Dupont. JIRI-CHEQUE, we already know what he's thinking about. Barzal, Dunn, Horvat, we'll wait on all of those guys since they'll continue to age. And maybe we could give an extension to Boldzuk or Curie, maybe. Boldzuk, we love him. I want to keep him in the third line role. 2 years, 2 million, that's what he wants. Yeah, I'd be happy to give that. Boldzuk, you're a machine, buddy. 2 years at 1.75. And you know, you've been so good, and we love you so much, that as a thank you, I'm giving you a 50%, 16-team no-trade list. If I could just get you down to, I don't know, let's go down to 1.7. So we save 50K, and we give him some respect. He's not going to be traded anyways. I'd be shocked if we trade Boldzuk. He's only making 1.7 million. He's going to be a third-pair defense. He's a solid, consistent contributor. 2 years, 1.7. Is that a bit too crazy? Go down to 36. Down to, you know what? Yeah, if we had to trade him, we could still trade him. It's still 16-team trade list. So 2 years at 1.7 for Boldzuk. He's a machine. He's making 1.6 right now. We'll give him a 100K boost. And that'll be it for the goaltending. Allmark would be expiring. All right, so let's advance to see who our opponent will be in round 1, ladies and gentlemen. As we'll hopefully get an answer, maybe? No. So here we go. In round 1, the year number 7 postseason, as we'll be trying to make a 4th consecutive Eastern Conference Final, our 3rd Stanley Cup Final of the last 4 years. As we go for a 3rd Stanley Cup in the last 4 years, we'll be facing the, and Boldzuk accepts enthusiastically, awesome, the Montreal Canadiens, a rare matchup contre le Canadien de Montréal. That is rare to see in franchise mode. Doesn't happen every day. Mais les Canadiens de Montréal sont ici. They were 39, 35, and 8 on the season. So let's quickly take a little peek at where that put them. I think they must have been a wildcard team then. Right, of course. We won the President's Trophy. Of course we're playing a wildcard team. But in the entire NHL, that put them, 19th place. As the 14th place Avalanche, who went 46, 32, and 4, missed. But the 39, 35, and 8 Canadians are here in round 1. The 19 seed in the league facing off against the number 1 seed Islanders. So let's just take a peek at the lineup here. Former Canadian Oliver Kapanen in our lineup. Slavkovsky, Demidov, and Caulfield, the first line for the Canadians. Whew. Joshua Roy, Michael Hage, and who's this? Nathaniel Sidhu on the second line, former second overall pick. All right. Jacobson, Beck, and Machar on the third line. Blake, Matthews, and Verana on the fourth. On defense, Lane Hudson, 92 overall. What has he been doing here in Sim? Yeah, the game doesn't seem to like Lane Hudson sometimes, but Lane Hudson had a 92 overall alongside Logan Mailloux. Second pair, David Reinbacher with Sergei Lazarev. All right, and third pair, Carter Amico and Damon Severson. Goaltending, it's Joshua Ravensbergen, third round pick in 2025. Okay, 82 overall, backed up by Nico Dawes. And scratches, no one injured there. All right, so Demidov, I just wonder, what did he do on the season? 65-point season from Ivan Demidov. Cole Caulfield, 72-point season. And Yuri Slafkovsky had an 86 overall only. 65-point season from him. All right, so there are the Montreal Canadiens facing off against us in the first round. And we'll want to also take one last peek now that Boldzuk has re-signed. If we're going to be thinking about any extensions that we do, keep in mind that the extension dollars that we have are $33.08 million at this time. The cap will be going up, plus we are likely trading Laine and or Sorokin, which is a lot of money as well. 6.5 on Laine and then 8.25 on Sorokin. Definitely Sorokin at 8.25. So we have over $40 million to play with. We can afford to send big offers to players. We just want to make sure that they don't come back to haunt us later on. So that just about does it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Another 50-plus win season for the Islanders. It was a fun episode. We had that 15-game win streak. We had some really great performances from guys like Samuel Fagemo. Looking forward to seeing what the postseason will bring. But do we need to make any changes to this lineup, especially with Belschutz? Do we swap Belschutz and Fagemo maybe moving into the playoffs? Who is our starting goaltender? A few things to think about. I will leave it to the AGMs in the comments down here on YouTube or over on the Discord server, link in the description. It's a busy offseason ahead, but before we get there, it's hopefully a deep postseason run for us. You never know when's the last time for these older players. Not everyone will be moving out by next season, but who knows how many other chances guys like Barzal, Horvat, Laine, Besser, Dunn, Pollock, Sorokin will have on this aging Islanders team. So as a President's Trophy winning team, we need to seize this opportunity moving into the postseason. I hope to see you there. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell to be notified when we go live, when episodes come your way. And if you've been enjoying these episodes, but you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that. Join the team. It'll be that much stronger with you as a part of it. We want to hear your voice down in the comments. And most importantly, get your name etched on the Stanley Cup. So once again, thanks for watching, and looking forward to seeing you again in the next one.